Say my name.
Jam.
You just become best friends. Yep.
I love the poorly educated.
Put it there. Jim, you, somewhere in the remote world. I don't know which direction west is from here, but Phil's out there somewhere. And so let's get to it. We're doing a special cast today. I'm coming to you remote from a different state, Montana. It happens. I didn't get pro-hawked or anything. I'm just out here visiting with me mom. A long story, but for reasons that are not actually utterly inexplicable, my parents retired to Montana, and so here I am. And it seems like a good occasion to unpack something that I was saying the last time that I was saying something. Because, let me preface it like this. Anything that I say to you is filtered through my personal experience, right? Like if I'm talking about, oh, this fucking album sucks, it's because, well, like, that's my personal judgment based on my own lengthy experience with albums that probably sound exactly fucking like it and oftentimes also suck, right? But here's the thing. I have just kind of a fairly considered and granted rudimentary understanding of how the world works, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk about more than anything else. So I want to unpack something that I was saying at the end of my last saying something, because I'm like, well, it makes sense to me, but does it make sense to everyone? And in particular, what I was talking about was just the nature of cult. I was saying, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was intimating that shit like repress albums and concert recordings, etc., that's not really cult. The nature of cult is to be hidden. You were there for it, or you weren't, and in most cases, you weren't. Because it was something that happened. That's what I was saying, was like, that's the nature of a cult thing, is like, something happened, and a few people were there for it, and were privy to it. And the thing about them is oftentimes it's a little more mundane than all of that, but a mythos might build up around it. I mean, how many people get fucking stabbed in the head, right? But this one guy, abruptly, like, there's a legion of TikTok kids painting themselves up like corpse paint and being like, I love Bella, right? I'm coming remote so I can smoke real cigarettes. It's lovely. I'm not giving myself this strange Chinese cancer today. Quick side digression since we're on the topic. Men smoke unfiltered cigarettes. I'm just saying. That's a fact. So, if you find that you've got tampons on the front of your cigarette, you might want to check that. I'm just making casual observation, alright? Because what do? I'm throwing stuff out there to make people's lives better. Now let's talk a little about cult. Really, I feel like I just said it all right there. Like, this can be a pretty short one. But this is the thing. Stuff happens in life. Sometimes it's like something kind of cool or remarkable. And sometimes a mythos builds up around it. But there's nothing like proper and conducive to good black metal aesthetic, to like cult as fuck. In like that whole, I've got a hi-fi stereo and 10,000 vinyls, right? And I want to explain maybe a little bit about why I come to that. Because, well, here I am in my parents' house. I'm just going to reach for a couple handy things that I found in this garage I'm sitting in, right? There's 3 fucking garages on this property. Montana's crazy shit, bro. If you live in a city. Now, item 1 here. Check this out. This is this big 3-volume set of Little Lulu comics. And this is 16 through 18, right? So there's like 5 more theoretically of these fuckers. I have a set of these in the back of my rental car I take back to Washington, because when my dad passed a couple of years back, one of the first things, a year ago, whenever it happened, one of the first things I did come out here, I was like, I'm bringing home some of them Little Lulu books for the kids, because another thing to make your life better, if you've got kids, bro, Little Lulu is fucking timeless. And it's kind of girl boss shit, but not in like a stupid, humorless, whatever you're thinking. You're thinking like, if I say girl boss, you're thinking blue-haired woke chick, right? It's not like that. It's like good, timeless fucking humor. It lasts like Jack Benny. Right? And on that note, but yeah, just the point of this is, there's 2 of these. Right? 2 compendiums. This one still got the shrink wrap on it. What the fuck did you have that for? Now, let's look at this one. Looney Tunes box set. There's a bunch of Looney Tunes cartoons on here, right? But this is just this random ass thing in the garage that I plucked out from. The man had, on DVD and on VCR, a pretty comprehensive set of Looney Tunes cartoons. And let me give you a quick example to, for veracity. This was not a released one. This was something he had on a home recorded VHS. But one time he showed me this Daffy Duck cartoon, and this is what happened in the Daffy Duck cartoon. World War II era, right? This is how humor used to be. Like actual cartoons. And I mean, cartoons weren't for kids, right? But this was something that they would do for humor. I feel like this is instructive. So it starts out with this German soldier who, or no, he's an American soldier. He fails his mission. He was trying to pass a message by and he got intercepted. So he, and he's a duck, right? But he walks out the door with this shamed look on his face, and he's pulling his sidearm as he goes. And they don't show what happened, but I mean, it's pretty well implied, right? So then enter Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck's got to get a message past Mata Hari Duck, who's trying to seduce him. But he's Daffy, right? He's fruity. He doesn't like women. That was the joke there, right? Just consider that one too, alright? So anyways, 6 minutes of hilarity ensue as Daffy foils and bungles the Mata Hari Duck. And Hitler's on this 2-way screen, right? Hitler's up in there like, yeah, I want to see these secret messages. Well, he swallows the message, Daffy does, right? And she sticks him in an X-ray. And Hitler's up there rubbing his hands. He's got his 2 generals standing next to him, and they're all like, ooh, yeah, we're going to see the secret message. And they X-ray Daffy's stomach, and the secret message says, Hitler is a stinker. And Hitler looks at it, and he says, Hitler is a stinker? That's not a top secret message. And his 2 generals say, yeah, everyone knows that. And he turns and he glares at them, and the scream bings in as they both swallow hard, and each one... Now that's how a cartoon used to be. You never see that on a released one, right? I'm just telling you that story because, A, it's a fucking funny-ass cartoon, and corporations can't abide that shit after, 1945. But also because, I mean, look at some background. What's that? It's just more VHSs. The guy has, literal tons of shit. I was not exaggerating when I said this. I said this before. I used to tell people I showed them the basement where my dad had a bunch of records, and they'd be like, God damn. And I'd be like, this is a small sampling, because there's storage rooms of the records. And I would say, and I would feel like I might be exaggerating, the man has to have hundreds of thousands. That cannot be hyperbole. He must have hundreds of thousands. And it turned out after he died that he was shooting for $1 million, and he did have at least 900,000 records. 900,000 records, right? 2 copies of the comic books, various repeated iterations of, and I mean, it's not just Looney Tunes, it's movies, it's anything media. The man has books out the ass. There's a garage full, he was a seminarian, right? A pastor. There's a fucking garage on this property full of his seminary books, right? We could open up a bookshop and be like, yeah, well, come and get this for 50 cents. Just, the gist of all this is, it's crazy shit. Fun fact, and when they moved to Montana, I was talking to the movers, and I was like, just squeeze them for data. The average house of that size moves about 16,000 pounds. They moved 48,000 pounds. So I'm not exaggerating. And it was not a big house, mind you. They had to have storage rooms. Just the man had infinite shit. And just coming out here, I'd be like, I got a marvel on it. Like, after he's gone, just this mountain of media still survives. Just like canon is test. And I'd be looking at some of it, and I'd be like, yo, that's interesting. I come on. I mean, there's exceptions you can make to a rule, right? I'd be like, I got room in the rental for some little Lulu for the kids. But I'd be looking at this stuff and I'd be like, come here, kitty cat. There's a cat next to me. That's why I came out here more than anything else, is to see this cat. There's 2 of these cats, in fact. But at any rate, yeah, he just had all this stuff, and I'd be like, this is a life lesson to me. I can look here and ponder on this. Come here, kitty cat. And be like, this is something I don't want to do with my life. I'd be like, a good goal of my life could totally be... Cat walked away. That's too bad. We were going to have a guest star. Maybe before I leave town, we'll have some cats. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at, right? As just this mountain of stuff and being like, what do you need to do with your life? Is don't do this to your kids. Like, leave as little as possible, and if possible, maybe like sell it all off, like, you know, and give them some fucking money, because the money's going to be worth even less than anything else in 3 years. I don't know, but I don't know what to do in terms of like leaving the world for your kids. Like, they're going to have to figure this shit out for themselves, all right? I don't envy them, tell you that. But this is like just a good window into my perspective, right? I'd be looking at this and I'd be like, you know what? You know what's like true and fucking cold? Is like just passing through like a ghost, leaving as little footprint as possible, holding as little as possible, just being there in that moment, for that moment, being seen by a few, being known to be fucking true. But, so, extrapolate from that, and I'd be like, yeah, you know what, I see infinite represses, and I'd be like, I see like concert footage, and I'd be, can we sidebar on that? 2 things, to me, just in sequence, ruined the concert experience, and it took a few years for them to... The first one came in 2005 when my state, probably like yours, banned smoking in clubs and bars for whatever reason, because nothing says like an appealing concert experience like this sweaty stench of a bunch of moshers not even masked by cigarette smoke while you're drinking and listening to, like, you know, savage metal. But then, even after that, like, you hang on, you know, you take your cigarette outside, that's fine. There's these fucking douchebags being like, I gotta have, and there's like a few at every show, and you'd be like, are you seriously gonna watch this footage? Are you like gonna put it on YouTube? I don't understand. If you're like Robert G from Florida, I understand. I'd be like, all right, well, maybe you're like the guy that people know as someone that documents concert footage. But here's the thing, statistically, you're not Robert G. And if you are Robert G, thank you for watching. I'm pleased to see you here. But everyone else, like, you know, either you're going to be one of the few along with him, or just like, what the fuck are we doing here, right? Like, there can't be enough need for these people that there's going to be at least 5, and I'm not exaggerating at all. I'm like giving an undercount here, like at least 5 at every fucking concert, being like, dude, I got to, you know, I got to skip this out here. Hang on a second. I got to like have this for the, you know, for posterity. Like, what the fuck? It's one fucking show, and it probably sucks. Statistically, again, like, so, while we're talking cold, I just want to take one more minute on this, right? But then we'll wrap it up, all right? Because we're improvising, we're ghetto rigging everything here, right? So I don't have my CD player, I don't a whole book of CDs, so I needed something where I'm like, all right, well, it's gonna pop ads in too, because I don't have the premium shit. So let's dig some. I dug up this Death in June album. This is the it's the piano album, but the demos version, because in this case the demos are way fucking better. I'm just saying, that piano album, and it wasn't because of the piano, it was because he got lazy with the vocals. I'd be like, why is there no double track on these vocals, bro? Like, I feel like I need to whisper along just to make sure that it happened. Anyway, yeah, I've seen Death in June a couple times, and I feel like metal bands could take a fucking stage presence lesson from this dude. He doesn't ask you how you are. There's no audience participation. There's no sing-along bullshit. He just walks out on stage and he's like, yeah, you're here to see me. I'm putting on the fucking show. So, look at me. And, yeah. When I'm done, I'm gonna, yeah. One of the times, he, came out to, gather up his shit, and everyone was still standing there, like, waiting like it was gonna be an encore or something. So he just, like, stretches himself out on one of the amps and starts posing. And someone was heckling him from the balcony, like, or maybe she was heckling the voyeurs, or, I don't know, it turned really awkward and sour, and the mood got, like, really weird. And I was like, this is the perfect moment on which to leave, the ideal last frame of a concert like this, just fucking cold. But that's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. And Lord willing, and grants me the breath to continue doing. We'll talk more about it. But you know what? I feel like that was good, right? 15 minutes, whatever. We're done here. All right, Jim Dempsey, and Lord willing, Phil's gonna fade me out, but we're dipping.